Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you can't tell by the title of today's video, I will be talking about everything there is to know about shampooing, and I actually want to make this a series where I talk about the different categories in curl and natural hair care. I do have a few names in mind for this series that I do want to make, but if you do have any suggestions, do leave them in the comment section. But in this video today, I will be talking about shampoos, the ingredients that you will typically find in a shampoo, how to shampoo properly, and also the different types of shampoos that you can find based on your hair type. I do want to mention a quick disclaimer though, I'm not a hair professional or hair chemist. Everything that I am going to be talking about in this video are things that I have taught myself over the years on my natural hair journey, and I also still continue to learn till this day. I do always recommend that you do your own research on everything. So with all of that said, let's just get into this video. So let's start with the basics, and that is, what is shampooing? Shampooing is the process of removing product buildup, oils, dirt and sweat from your hair and scalp in order to give you a clean slate. And this is usually the first or second step that is followed right before the conditioning process, and the reason why I say that sometimes it is the second process is because some people do pre-poo before they go in with the shampoo process, and pre-pooing is basically just the act of applying some sort of conditioner or oils, or sometimes both, in order to help your hair to retain more moisture so that when you do shampoo, it doesn't strip your hair as much of its natural oils. Why is the shampoo process such an important process in our hair care routines? Shampooing is super important because when you go a long period of time without applying shampoo to your scalp, you're actually hindering the health of it. And the reason why is because your scalp is also skin too. Even though natural and curly hair is on the drier side, which means we don't wash our hair as often, it is still important to have that balance of moisture and also cleaning our hair in order for our hair to be the healthiest. Also, if you go a long period of time without cleansing your hair, eventually you might find that your hair starts to get more dirty, itchy, and also might produce more of an odor. If you are someone who likes to refresh your hair a lot, or if you like to apply more of the heavier oils and butters, if you aren't effectively washing those out of your hair, it can just end up sitting on top of your hair, and that eventually causes a lot of buildup and could also lead to hair fall. How often should you shampoo your hair? Now this really is down to personal preference. Factors such as where you live, how often you work out, also the type of products that you apply to your hair, also your porosity and whether your hair is on the drier or oilier side, etc. All of those factors can depend on how often this act is done. But I will say that it is down to what works for you. I'm not going to tell you how often that you should cleanse your hair because every individual is different and everyone has different circumstances in their life. As an example, I do like to cleanse my hair once a week, and the reason why is because my scalp tends to get really itchy when it does get towards that 1 week mark. So washing my hair once a week does work for me. But I have found that, for example, in the more humid, hot months, I do actually like to cleanse my hair twice a week. So sometimes I will co-wash my hair midweek, and then right towards the end of the week is when I will actually use a shampoo that does effectively remove all of the product and buildup that my hair and scalp may have. What are some of the benefits and potential disadvantages of shampooing? Some of the main benefits of shampooing include the fact that it is generally good for your overall scalp health. It does also help products to penetrate your hair better, especially deep conditioners, because deep conditioners do help to penetrate your hair much more deeper than what a normal rinse out conditioner would do. It's also great for if you have an itchy scalp because it can offer you relief. And in general, it just feels really nice to have clean hair. On the flip side, if shampooing is overdone, it can lead to more dry and brittle hair. And also, as well as this, depending on the type of shampoo and the ingredients that you are using, shampoos can strip your hair of its natural oils. In turn, this can lead to more dull, frizzy strands. Also, constant use of co-washes, which is a type of conditioning cleanser and shampoo, can actually lead to more dryness, buildup, and also an irritated, itchy scalp if shampoo is constantly avoided. So do make sure that you are using co-washes in moderation and that you are giving yourself a balance of using a proper shampoo and then using a co-wash in order to avoid product buildup and an itchy, irritated scalp. Now that you know a bit about why the shampoo process is so vital and also some of the pros and cons of the shampoo process, let's talk a bit about the different types of cleansers and shampoos that you might find. The two main standard types of shampoos are moisture-based shampoos and clarifying shampoos. So moisture-based shampoos do still cleanse your hair, but they do leave some moisture left over usually. However, it is important to remember that even if you do have a moisture-based shampoo, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be super moisturizing and leave your hair very, very nourished, because moisture-based shampoos still can contain what a more stripping and clarifying shampoo would contain. So it really is just down to what you end up picking and also what the brand's ingredients does contain, because not all shampoos are made equally, even if it is moisture based or if it's clarifying. On the other side of things, there is clarifiers, and they are basically the opposite spectrum of what a moisturizing shampoo would do. They are typically more stripping, and therefore they can strip your hair of its natural oils and not leave much or any moisture left over in your hair. Because of that, it would be a perfect option for anyone who does have a lot of build-up, or if you find that you haven't washed your hair in a long period of time, and if you find that there's just a lot of stuff sitting on top of your hair that you would need to effectively remove. And then there are other options that are slightly more newer and more inclusive to people with curly and natural hair, and that includes low pooing and co-washing, and there is also the extra one of 2-in-1s and 3-in-1s, but you can also find that in products that are for all hair types. Low pooing is basically just like a normal shampoo, except it is completely free of sulfate, and you will usually hear this terminology if you are following the curly girl method, or if you are only looking for products that are curly girl friendly. And then there are co-washes, which is essentially just a conditioning co-wash, and co-wash consistencies can vary, but sometimes they can be more on the thick creamy side, or can have a similar consistency to what a rinse out conditioner would have, which is sometimes more of a runny creamy texture. This is usually the most gentle cleansing option that you can go for, especially if you do have curly hair, or if you are looking for midweek cleansers or cleansers that can condition and cleanse your hair at the same time, because co-washes do typically contain cationic surfactants. These surfactants are really good at giving your hair slip and also smoothness and helping with the conditioning process. Sometimes brands do label these as 3-in-1 products because they do sometimes have multi-purpose benefits. Another one that I did want to mention is shampoo bars. And these are typically just like what a normal shampoo would do, except they are more sustainable, so they do usually last in the long run. However, they can still contain ingredients that normal shampoos would contain. Do be sure to pause this video and do let me know what your favorite types of shampoos are. I would love to know what those are in the comments below. As well as different types of shampoos, there are also shampoos for different hair needs and different hair types. So there are shampoos for normal hair, for dry hair, oily scalp and dry ends, damaged hair, color and chemically treated hair, kinky, coily and curly hair, sensitive scalps, irritated scalps. The type of hair that you do have and also your hair concerns can hugely impact what type of shampoo that you may want to choose for optimal hair and scalp health. Speaking of the types of shampoos, let's delve into one of the most important topics that I personally find is important when it comes to picking the right shampoo for you, and that is ingredients. So I wanted to start by talking about the most common surfactants that are plant-based. So one of them is sodium C14 olefin sulfonate. This is derived from coconut oil and is also a pretty strong sulfate-free surfactant that offers great lather in shampoos. And I have found that this can be present in both moisturizing and clarifying shampoos. Next is cocamidol propylbutane, and this is actually part synthetic, part plant-based, as this is derived from coconut oil and also dimethylamino-propylamine. This offers great foaming with mild cleansing abilities, but despite being sulfate-free, this can still strip your hair of its natural oils. I would say that if you are looking for a sulfate-free alternative that still is very clarifying, you would want to look for an ingredient like this. Another one that's commonly used is bihydramonium chloride, and this is derived from rapeseed and canola seeds. This is more found in co-washes and light cleansers due to its detangling and conditioning abilities. You may also find ingredients like sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, which is a mild surfactant derived from coconut and palm oil, and also sodium cocoyl isocyanate, which is derived from coconuts, and it's quite stripping, especially on drier hair, so it's not necessarily one where if you are looking for a more moisturizing shampoo that you might want to look for that ingredient. Some of the less common plant-based surfactants and ingredients that you may find in shampoos include diesel glucoside, and this actually foams really well. It's also derived from coconut oil or sometimes palm oil and cornstarch. It's a much more gentle surfactant than using cocamidol propylbutane, and it's also very biodegradable. Another one is cocoa glucoside. Again, this is derived from coconuts as well as glucose and alcohols. It's also a very gentle surfactant that's great as a replacement for the harsher surfactants. And lastly, there's also lauryl glucoside. This is also derived from either palm oil or coconuts, as well as glucose. This is also another great gentle surfactant and is very biodegradable, so it is better for the environment. Now let's talk a bit more about the harsher, more drying ingredients that you may want to avoid in your shampoos. Some of these include sodium lauryl, laureth and myreth sulfate, ammonium laureth and lauryl sulfate, and there is also PEG, which is polyethylene glycol, as well as sodium tridecaph sulfate. Sodium chloride is another one that's commonly used as a thickening agent for anionic surfactants like sulfate, but it's actually very, very drying for the hair, especially if you do have hair that's naturally on the drier side. You will find a lot of the main shampoos on the market do have sulfates. Despite the fact that it does suds and foam up really well when used in our hair, it actually can have really drying effects over time, and it can also strip your hair of its natural oils as well as your skin and body. And if you do want to look for shampoos that are more for scalp conditions like dandruff, you can look for ingredients like coal tar, salicylic acid, zinc pyrithione, selenium sulfide and ketoconazole. If you do want more natural alternatives, ingredients like baking soda, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, peppermint oil, tea tree oil are all great for that. With baking soda, lemon juice and apple cider vinegar, all three of those are great, but do make sure that you dilute them with a liquid like water, as they are all pretty potent and they do have a different pH to our hair and scalp. Lastly, I want to mention some natural alternatives that you can use as a shampoo or cleanser for your hair. So one of the most common ones is actually Ayurvedic herb, and that is shikakai, also known as soap pods. This clarifies the hair really well, but it does not foam up, and it can also be used in conjunction with other Ayurvedic herbs depending on your hair's needs. Another common one is African black soap. This one foams really well and has great antiviral and antibacterial properties. It's also very versatile and can be used on the body and face for all different skin and body concerns. Another one is aloe vera. This can be used as an alternative to other surfactants due to its jelly-like consistency. It's great for strengthening and nourishing hair strands. Another great one is arefa, also known as soap nut. This is rich in saponins, which have naturally occurring detergents that can effectively cleanse the hair. And lastly, apple cider vinegar, and this is great for clarifying and removing buildup on the hair and scalp. If you find that your hair is weighed down with product or residue, this would be a great option, but always do make sure that you mix this with equal parts of a liquid like water, as it can be too harsh and drying by itself. So moving on from ingredients, how you shampoo your hair matters just as much as anything else when it comes to shampooing. So here are some curl tips and steps on how to shampoo the proper way. So I'm starting with this day 7 hair, and I'm going to make sure to saturate my hair with lots of warm water to open my hair's cuticle. And what temperature you use really is down to personal preference, but I do find that the hotter the water, the more drying it can be, especially if you're using a harsher shampoo alongside with it. So the second part is optional, but this is to prepare your hair for sectioning. And I say this is optional because not everyone may need to do this or will find that it works for them, but if you struggle with tangles or have very thick hair, you may benefit from this step. And I find that doing this ensures that you are thoroughly applying shampoo to every part of your scalp. I don't always do this step, especially if I do want a quicker wash day. Step 3 is to apply the shampoo. So I'm distributing this shampoo and gently cleansing my scalp with my fingers in circular motions. If you are using a shampoo that's more moisturizing or has slip, feel free to distribute some through the lengths of your hair. Also use your own judgment to determine how much shampoo you want to use per section, or if in doubt, always follow product instructions. Top tip, and this is kind of something that I like to do while washing my hair with shampoo, if you're trying to reduce tangled matted curls, I do suggest to lather the shampoo downwards and away from your face. Don't ever pile up your hair, as this can cause unnecessary tangles and potentially breakage. So once you've worked your shampoo into all sections, it's time to rinse all of that product out from your hair and also repeat if necessary. Et voila! Clean curls ready to be nourished with your chosen conditioner or deep conditioner. And that does bring us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions in regards to anything mentioned in this video today, please do leave them in the comments section below. And if you learn anything new from this video, I would love to know that as well. Or even if you feel like there's anything that I left out that you would like explaining more in better detail, then please be sure to let me know. But if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel to see more content like this in the future. And lastly, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post a new video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.